Introduce myself. Hi, welcome, howdy. Glad y'all are here today. We're going to talk today about being active. I'm Boogie Barber. I'm a health agent in Referral and Goliad counties. Feel free to ask any questions today or ask in text chat. My handy helper, Superwoman Gail's on with us so that she can look at the chats and she'll interrupt me if y'all have any pressing questions. So go forth, 30, take action to be active. We all know we need to be more active for health reasons. Today we're going to start with a story about Harold. Okay, let me tell you a little about Harold. This is his story. Seeing the hard work pay off, especially seeing my blood work drop as much as it was the biggest thrill I received from being physically active. Are wise words from Harold, a 65-year-old man with type 2 diabetes. Since 2007, he has made a weekly routine of walking 2-mile course in his neighborhood, which takes 45 minutes. In addition to walking, he added strength training regime in the basement of his house. It includes different kinds of squats and other shoulder presses to work his major muscle groups. Harold is proof that seniors can stay active, especially those with a chronic disease like diabetes. Harold's wake-up call came in a routine physical in 2007. He vividly recalls the doctor's visit. Nothing was good. My cholesterol was high, my triglycerides were high, and that's when I found out I had type 2 diabetes. I learned from my doctor that walking helped control diabetes, so I got serious and started walking regular. It was unfortunately that Harold's wake-up call came after receiving news that he had diabetes because exercise is important to prevent chronic illnesses like diabetes. Today, Harold is a walking testimony that physical activity offers many health benefits. He has lost 65 pounds, has more energy, and is able to control his diabetes with diet and exercise rather than insulin. These rewards motivate Harold to continue his physical activity routine. However, Harold says the biggest motivation is his fear of losing his foot, going blind, or a lot of internal damage from uncontrolled diabetes. Recent blood work showed Harold's numbers for cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood glucose levels are significantly down. His improvements surprised his doctor, who jokingly questions the reliability of results because they are so good. Harold is quick to say that he no longer sees the benefits of physical activity as a myth or an old wives' tale. He is fit, trim, and healthy at 65, now able to enjoy his wife, daughter, and grandson. Could you or someone you know be Harold?
Yes.
Yes, myself exactly. Last fall, I started at 7.5 and on my diabetes scale, and now I'm at 5.8.
Wow.
So there's not much on my paperwork. There's not much evidence that I'm even diabetic. And that happened with basically proper nutrition and a little bit of physical activity. Okay, next slide. Do you think it is safe for older adults to be active?
Yes.
Okay. Are you a part of the aging population?
Hell yes.
And aren't we all? We're all aging.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Nothing.
Oh, I thought somebody else was on. Slide 4 talks about improving our health, and physical activity is body movement to improve our health. And there are many ways to be active. Okay, aerobic activity is one way to be active. They call for 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity, or 75 minutes a week vigorous activity. Okay, and these are guidelines for older adults, but this 150 minutes of activity is also for younger adults. Current recommendations guides show we need to have muscle strengthening twice a week in our activities. Okay, all major muscle groups should be exercised And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So let's look at our activity for age groups. 18 to 24, 30.7% of adults are physically active 5 days a week or for 150 minutes, and only 15.9 over 65. And there is a middle ground. 55 to 64-year-olds are 17.1%. Okay, so not quite 20% of our 55 to 64-year-olds are being physically active. Adults over 65, there has been some progress. In 1998, there was only 5.5% of them being physically active or meeting the guidelines. And in 2018, that pretty much has doubled. Okay, so let's look at our population 2050. Right now, or around, we are 3.14 million people with a population over 65, and in 2050 will be 400 million. Okay, mostly baby boomers. They all turned 65 in 2011. Okay, but we need to start helping these people be more active, because we all know that we're living longer, and we need to address the population of older folks. 1 in 4 younger than 65, and 3 in 4 65 and older have multiple chronic conditions. Okay, and what's a chronic disease? Anybody?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay, so we're listed as chronic diseases: hypertension, heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes, lung disease, and arthritis. Okay, some of these things can be helped through physical activity, and some are not. Okay.
Okay.
Well, actually, I would think that all would be. Why would I say something like that? Okay. I was thinking arthritis, but range of motion with physical activity. Okay. And Karen made a comment that there's probably less people exercising because of COVID, which absolutely, I thought about that when I was doing the presentation, but I was, we're all COVID heavy lately. So y'all feel free to comment whenever y'all want to open up your mic, because there's not very many of us. So some chronic diseases can be prevented. Between 1998 and 2018, the number of adults with 4 or more chronic disease went up almost 6 percentage points, which is a lot. Okay, now let's look at the money. $2.7 trillion are spent every year in healthcare for chronic disease, things that we may not have to address if we're physically active. 2.7 trillion, guys. Unfortunately, traditional medical models that focus on treating illness rather than prevention is ineffective. So we're treating illnesses instead of preventing them. With a growing silver society who is living longer, there's a dire need to improve the quality of life. Okay, go for 30. When I was reading this at first, I was like, but that's a 4, and that's only 4 days a week, but it's go for 30. 30 minutes a day. The Go for 30 action that I will discuss as a way to meet the physical activity guidelines. 30 minutes of moderate intensity activity to target on most days of the week and achieve 150 minutes. What are some physical activity benefits, guys?
Sleep better.
Okay. Better range of motion.
Yeah, better range of motion. Reduce stress. Agree.
Yes.
And Jackie said energy, gives you more energy.
Yeah. And balance. Balance is a big thing as we age. Something will give us that. All right. In this talk, you will learn that exercise and your everyday activities go together. You can find ways to meet the guidelines in your daily routine, from raking leaves to even taking the stairs. You can make the choices to be counted among those who make the physical activity long-term healthy habit. Today is our first step into go for 30. If you're active like Harold, then you will be well on your way for healthy, fulfilling life. For those of you that are less active than 3 days a week, I will share some simple ways to move more into your daily life. And then we also have something I added to your email, which was a kind of a quiz about why we don't get up and move and be physically active. I found it very interesting, and we'll look at it at the end.
Hey, Boogie.
Yes.
They also said physical activity is good for weight loss, and it also helps our heart, gets our heart pumping.
Great. So aerobic activity makes our heart stronger, less chronic disease like heart disease. Okay, so your Go for 30 challenge, it's important to keep in mind that physical activity can be safe for most of all adults. You can choose a level of physical activity based on your fitness level and your health goals. Inactive people should start low and go slow. Sorry. Older adults with chronic conditions such as diabetes and arthritis should consult their health provider before starting any health activity, any physical activities. So make sure you consult your doctor if you have any kind of chronic disease or other illnesses. All right, so how many minutes a day are we shooting for? How many minutes a week are we shooting for? Sorry. How many minutes a week? 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day?
I thought it was 4 for 30.
Mindy said 150. Janice said 150.
Okay, so it's Go for 30, and that's what let me go back. When I first saw this, I was like, well, that's only 4 days a week, but it just means go for 30 minutes. Because I did the same exact thing when I first read it. So go for 30 minutes. No, it's no big deal. I did the same thing when I read it. I was like, what do you mean? That's not 5 days a week. So I understand. All right, 4 types of exercise we hope to get into our daily routine. Endurance or cardiovascular activity. It helps the heart, which we just mentioned. Endurance exercise to strengthen your heart muscle. 3 physical signs that you are doing endurance activity could be breathing hard, fast heart rate, or large body movements. So here's our endurance: brisk walking, yard work, dancing, swimming. Anything anybody else likes to do for endurance? No? Okay, well, let's move on. So when you are doing an endurance activity, you should look for fast heart rate and hard breathing and large body movements. Brisk walk, swimming, jogging, playing tennis. This is also called aerobic activity for those of you that have heard that term. Another facet of physical fitness is strength training, also called resistance training. Make sure that when we're doing this, we warm up starting before our activity. We use steady movements, not jerky movements. That's when you can get injured. And breathe regularly during the exercise. Does anybody do any kind of resistance training?
Boogie, Janice likes to do elliptical training.
Okay, so that's our endurance. Okay.
Yes.
So our strength training, this could also be yoga. Okay, I like to do yoga. We don't need a bunch of weights to do our strength training. Okay, there's many things at home we can use, and we can just use our body weight to strengthen our muscles. All right.
And Jackie does HIIT workouts, and Charles does band workouts.
Band workouts. That's awesome. Jackie, can you get on and tell us what that is?
It's a high level intense workout. It's both endurance and strength training.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I would like to, I don't want to get out of the PowerPoint, but I want you to put your hands in prayer position in front of you. For those who do yoga, you know what that is. And I would like for you just to push your hands together in front of your chest. Fingers pointed to the ceiling. And when your muscle tires, you can release. Anybody feel anything while they were doing that?
Yeah, it feels good.
It does feel good. Okay, so you're looking at isometric muscle building there. Okay, isometric body resistance. So there's no need to go out and get this humongous gym and spend money when you can use your body to help you build muscle. All right, flexibility. Extremely important. Flexibility makes the body flexible and limber. Calf stretches, yoga. Okay, and yoga can also build muscle, and usually isometric. So flexibility is important to all, not just older Americans. It keeps us in shape, keeps us be able to, keeps us moving. Anybody else do anything for flexibility? Okay, so make sure when you're doing your when you're stretching, that you stretch in a particular desired position. You do it 3 or 4 times, and then you do it slowly. No jerky movements. That could cause an injury. And the last one we're going to look at today is balance. Help prevent falling. If a person falls, they are twice as likely to fall again. Balance is pretty important when you are at advanced age, and lower body strength exercises improve balance. Did we get something, Gail? Because I can hear my phone going off.
Okay, Jackie wanted to know, does Pilates do flexibility?
Yes, Pilates does flexibility also. Yes, ma'am. It's a very good exercise for flexibility and muscle and balance, for that matter. And if depending on how you're doing it, you might even be able to get that heart rate up too. Depends on who you're following and what kind you're doing. Balance exercise with certain strength exercises can prevent falls from improving your ability to control and maintain your body position. Whether you're moving or still, the activity overlaps with your lower body strength exercise, which also improves balance. Balance is important for everybody, guys. Not just people we think that are older. All right. If you can get out of a chair, unless you're driving, let's not do this, but we have some balance exercises to do. Please hold on to your desk or anything nearby, standing on one foot, and count to 5. So that's a great balance exercise, and then you would switch legs. You can do that in the office, even if you're working, or at home watching TV. Does anybody feel their muscles engage? Okay. Great, Jessica. Sorry, I think maybe I can handle it now a little. I said I think maybe I can handle the text chat a little bit.
Yeah, Lisa said yes. Garcia, yes. Jackie, yes.
Okay, the other 2 that I have are back leg raises. So basically turn to the side, hold on to a desk, wall your chair. I can feel both legs engaged, or she would switch sides. And then side leg raises. And please make sure you're holding on to something if you're wobbly. Again, these can be done just about anywhere, unless you're driving. You can still flex your legs if it's not the leg you're driving with. Okay. Have a seat if you're not already. One thing we've heard lately or I've heard lately, at least at the doctor, is regardless of your age, everyone benefits from physical activity lifestyle. And that I told Janice this yesterday, if all you have is 10 minutes at a time, then you can schedule it 10 minutes at a time. My goal, hopefully when it gets a little cooler, is to walk from my office down our back street. And I'm guessing about two or three blocks and then walk back, because I think that would be 10 minutes at a time. So that's my plan for when it gets a little cooler outside. So this is probably the hardest thing for me, is to make it a habit and not make an excuse. So to begin your 30 for 40 habit, there are 5 pointers. Have a plan, add variety to your workout, be safe when you exercise, increase intensity to build endurance, test yourself to see your progress. Okay? What will you do? Why you want to do it, when you will do it, and where you will do it. Okay? I don't think anybody wants to do the same thing over and over again. So you make sure you have variety and you can change up. Be safe, make sure you warm up, make sure you bring plenty of water. Super important right now when it's so hot, and wear the proper clothing when you're outside or inside or wherever you're at. Make sure you're increasing intensity. Okay, so if you get to that 30 minutes a day and you don't want to go 30 minutes, try to go a little faster, or try to go a longer distance in 30 minutes. And this says at least 3 days a week. Our goal though is 5. And then make sure you track your success. I will send another email out afterwards, and they included some tracking pages for you, and I'll send that back out afterwards. So make sure you track your success. I use a calendar. Believe in the benefits. So what again are some of our benefits?
Everyone's smiling in the picture.
So they're in a good mood. Absolutely.
Yes.
Mood elevation.
Energy gives you more energy. And Janice said flexibility.
Guys, I can't over talk about flexibility and balance.
And Mindy said stress relief, which I love that answer.
Absolutely. Okay, those are our benefits. Okay, by 2030, the number of older adults over 65 is expected to reach 70 million. An active lifestyle is one way to improve the quality of life for those individuals. Go for 30. It is based on guidelines from the American College of Sports Medicine. There's a strong evidence showing that the older adults can adapt to endurance and strength training. So now is the time to get moving. All right. I would like for y'all, because it says to raise our hand, but what good would that do us on the computer? I would like for y'all to put in the text chat any kind of physical activity you've done for yourself in the past week. You go, Jessica.
Jessica walked 2 miles. Karen's walking. Lisa walked 1.5 miles. Oh, Janice is doing yoga, elliptical, and bike riding. Charles walked 3 miles per day.
Yeah, when it's not
Mindy
raining.
walking, yard work.
Okay. All right.
I'm feeling inspired.
Me too. I think I'm going over to Janice's. I was just with her yesterday. All right. Can anybody list me some barriers? And can we not list COVID?
Oh, Lisa says she chases her grandson, and
Cool.
Jackie enjoys walking, jogging, treadmill, CrossFit, and then HIIT, which she explained earlier.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, I was too quick on that. That's my fault. Can y'all list some barriers besides COVID that you may have experienced in the last week as far as getting your physical activity in?
Attitude, heat,
Absolutely.
weather, rain. Yeah, those are reasons.
Okay. So our
one said lazy.
Janice, you're not lazy. And I'm glad y'all are listing these things because and it's not really a quiz. It's just asking you what you think about different things as far as physical activity, and then it kind of gives you the breakdown. And I took it earlier, and it kind of gave me. It's not that I don't want to, I'm just not making time for it, and that's my fault. And I need to take care of that. And I'll show y'all that in a few minutes. Well, actually, pretty quick because we're almost out of time. But when going through Go for 30, we will all want to enjoy our life and have a better quality of life, and this is one way to do it. And our goal is 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and you can even break it up into those 10-minute sessions. That's what I'm gonna go for this week because I live kind of out in the country, and I do have a place to walk, so I really have no excuse not to get out there and do it. And to find time in my day. Any questions, comments, concerns, guys?
Yeah, Jackie did have one comment. She said sometimes it's hard to find the motivation because we're really tired from work.
Absolutely, and we're tired because it's so hot outside. It's absolutely, the weather right now is not very forgiving, at least during the day. So there's Janice. How are you? All right, I wanted to show y'all. What are you seeing on my screen?
I see Janice.
Okay.
I can see your initials.
Okay. So this is the action plan that I'm going to send you later. This comes from the Healthy Talk Express. So it'll give you the day and list all the examples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of things that you did, and endurance, the minutes, and then a tracking schedule for like the year. And I will send that out through another email with the same links as earlier.
Okay.
And then, well, lovely computer, wonderful. I'm also you had the quiz earlier in the email that I sent you. Go ahead and take that, and then I gave you the email that explains it better. Did anybody see the quiz already? That I sent in the email?
Yes, Lisa did. The pretest.
Yes.
Called it
Yeah.
a pretest.
Yes, Lisa, the pretest. And it just gives you, I think it just makes you more aware of what the hurdles are for you. Oh, this little one still.
And Charles did take it.
Oh, cool. Charles, do you mind sharing anything with us?
It
He said
does show
yes.
that I need to be a little bit more active.
Okay. Okay. So if you have any questions about that, the quiz pretest that I attached to your email earlier, please feel free to contact me. It's 12:45. I don't want to make y'all late back to work. and I do enjoy talking to y'all. And I thank you for coming today. Are there any last questions or comments?
Thanks. You're motivating and inspiring me. All these people are inspiring me. Thank you.
Y'all are so welcome.
Thank
anytime.
you. Good job,
Absolutely.
Boogie. Thanks from Jessica, Holly, Janice. Yeah, I love the presentation. It was awesome.
I'm glad.
Good job, Boogie.
Thank you.
Good job, Gail. Bye.
Thank you. Okay, I'll stop the
You're welcome.
recording.